Hello everyone, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I have a different type of video for you guys. I actually wanted to go back even for myself to see what palettes from last year that I reviewed for you guys and purchased and shared on my channel did I actually think about this year. I am one to have a ton of eyeshadow palettes and I was curious to see how many of them did I actually think about this year, use this year, consider this year, or even completely forgot about. So I do have 5 palettes out of all the ones that I shared with you guys last year that I have not thought about once, pulled out once, cared to use once. Basically, if they were taken away from my collection, I would have never even remembered that I had. So if you're interested in knowing about these 5 palettes, stay tuned. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alejandra. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash project pan. That is something that interests you. Subscribe, join us. And now without further ado, let's get on with this video. Now before I get into this video and all the palettes that I'm going to share with you guys today, this does not necessarily mean that I will be depotting.
Holy moly, that's where my brain is today.
Where I'm not going to be decluttering these eyeshadow palettes. It's just that I thought it was interesting to see, going back to all of my reviews, going back to all the videos that I did last year about eyeshadow palettes, which ones did I actually forget about this year? Because we know we're all guilty of it, whether we intend to do it or not, and I'm actually surprised. It's not too bad considering how many palettes I brought into my collection last year. All right, so I went back through all of my videos of 2019 and I counted roughly about 25 different eyeshadow palettes that I did something with on my channel, whether it was reviewing, ranking, sharing, talking about in one way, shape, or form. So this year I went through, I wrote them all down, I went through my collection and looked at which ones have I not even cared to pull out and shop my stash, which ones did I not care to even consider, or which ones have I not even mentioned in a video this year that had to do with anything with eyeshadow palettes. So I have my 5 here that I'm going to share with you guys today. So the first one I have is the BH Cosmetics It's My Raye palette. There is no reason why I have not pulled this out. I just forgot, honestly. There's nothing wrong with this palette. At the time that I used it, I thought it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't the best. BH Cosmetics has come a long way, but for whatever reason, I haven't pulled this one out yet. I hope to be able to pull this out in some sort of shop my stash or in a project pan eventually, because these are not that big and I know I can get through them. They're very pretty coloring and I like the trio situation that they had, that neutral row right here, and then they have these right here corresponding shimmer and matte. So it's a good idea. It's just I don't know why I haven't reached for it. So yeah, hopefully now that I've brought it up in a video, I'll remember to use it. The second one that I have is the Anastasia Riviera palette. This one I thought was okay. I love the color story of it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I love the color story. I love the looks that I came out with using this. I did a 2 looks 1 palette, did a full review on them. Anastasia's eyeshadow formula as far as this is not my favorite. It is okay. It's not my favorite. It's not the worst that I've tried, but it's also not the best of the best, but I do like it, and this palette is no exception. I know a lot of people didn't like this palette, but I think what draws me in is the color story. I really like the color story, and the eyeshadow looks that I have come up with this palette just reminds me of how much I really do enjoy it. So hopefully I will get this out before the summer ends, because I think this is one of those palettes that I do prefer using in the summer. Next up is My Pure Festival. This is another one that it's a summer palette, and I don't know why I haven't pulled this one out. This one I got in BoxyCharm. I did purchase this on my own, but I was interested in this palette and I just got lucky with it. This is warm tones with those 2 bright pops of colors, and then you get those 2 glitters. I did a full review on this. Again, I think this is a really nice one, and it's not the best of the best. It's not the worst, and it is a nice color story for the summer. So this is another one that I want to pull out this summer. I may pull them out at least to use once just to get that itch off my back, because I have so many eyeshadow palettes that I do want to use that I don't want to get rid of these. I really don't want to declutter these. It's just I forgot all about them and I haven't spoken about them in any other video. The fourth one that I have, I'm very surprised because this is from one of my favorite brands, and that's the Violet Ink one. This is the Menagerie Violet Ink. And I think mainly because of how our winter, spring kind of unfolded, I wasn't using much makeup. I wasn't thinking about makeup too much, and now that it is summer, I don't gravitate towards these colors as much. This would have been perfect in the springtime, but again, due to the spring that we had with everything going on, I just didn't even think about it. So I'm crossing fingers that I will remember, because this will be a pretty palette. I would say around November-ish is when I can see myself pulling this out. November, December, getting those cooler tone colors, those vibrant, deeper shades. September through about October, I tend to do more like fallish colors. So I'm hoping, I still got a few more months. Let's hope in November November-ish, I get this out. And the last one, I gotta say, I'm very surprised, and that is the Juvia's Place The Warrior 3 palette. This is the last one that I just hadn't pulled out, haven't thought about it once, and I'm always thinking about Juvia's Place palettes, but this one never pops in my head. A lot of the other ones pop in my head. The Nomad Masquerade palette, I have the Try palette. Like, there's so many that go through my mind, and honestly, this one never does. I don't know why, because I do like it. It's more of a grungy rainbow palette. Maybe that's why, I don't know, but I still like it. It's just maybe because it doesn't, the shimmery shades that are in here are not really my cup of tea. Like, I don't do grays often, and blues, okay, but I'd rather have other ones. But I think this is more like my complementary palette. This will go nice with an all shimmery shadow palette instead of, so I can just use these mattes in here. So I think that's the reason why I don't reach for this one as often either. So there you guys have it. Out of 25-ish palettes that I spoke about, only 5 have not come to mind, have not gone in a Shop My Stash, have not been used once, have not been mentioned in a video until now. Honestly, for me, that's actually pretty good because I have so many eyeshadows in my collection of different kinds, shapes, and forms. And if only 5 out of all the ones that I spoke about last year did not make it so far in some sort of thought process this year, that's actually not a bad thing. So I'll link these down below if you are interested in them. Let me know which ones you purchased last year that you have yet to even think about, consider, use this year, because I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this. I'm pretty sure quite a few of you guys can join me in this one. So thank you again for all of your support. I'll put more videos right over here. Until then, bye guys.